So this is the second heat of the Visitors Challenge Cup. Washington went through earlier. This is a race between Oxford University B crew. The A crew went out yesterday, put out in fact by their opponents, Tideway Scullers School and Molesey Boat Club. On the right of your picture, Calvin Tarzi with his hand up indicating the crew is not quite ready. And Augustin Wambase with his hand up indicating the Oxford crew are not quite ready. This Oxford B crew is a nice little crew actually.
Yeah, I umpired them the other day, and really mature performance.
So the semi-final of the Visitors Challenge Cup for intermediate men's fours, Oxford University B crew on the left of your picture, Tideway Scullers and Molesey Boat Club on the right of your picture, closest to the island. Blast off the start. I have to say that it'll take a lot of beating to put this Tideway Scullers School and Molesey Boat Club crew out as their steering goes. Would you be warning them at that point?
Well, you can hear Gwyn Batten, who's the umpire, talking to them at this point, and yes, they are being warned. And it's always a judgment call. Unless you're behind it on the umpire's launch, you don't quite know whether you would umpire at that point or not, because what you don't want to do is umpire them too much if they're sorting it out themselves, because then you're demanding a steering foot that's already on to be put on again.
I'll tell you, that's a lovely present for Oxford University B crew. Harry Geffen just lost the rudder there a little bit and went over towards Oxford. The crew's clashing there, Sarah.
Yeah, it looked like the three-man of the Oxford crew, yeah, just caught the stroke man actually of the other crew on this side, and they are very close together. And you can hear Gwyn Batten, the umpire, she's warning them again. They're
ridiculously close together. What is going on here? Will Geffen is steering in the middle of the river. He's got to get his crew over to this boom side, hasn't he?
Yeah, and I think it's that moment, isn't it? Because of course he's the bowman steering in this place, and he will have moved as Gwyn warned, but then you don't want to move into the boom, so he'll correct again, and it's at the moment he's just correcting a little bit too much. And coming back, as you can see, into the way. And Gwyn Batten is calling Scullers, and she's asking them to move over again.
Because he's sending puddles down to the bow side or the starboard side of the Oxford crew, to James Forward and Tassilo von Muller, who are rowing on the same side in that boat.
Yeah.
And it's giving them a hard time, isn't it?
Agreed to a little bit, but if you look at the Oxford crew, they're also a long way out from their station. So, yes, we've got two crews in the middle of the water, and there's this area we call neutral watering, which kind of sits right in front of the umpire's launch, if you like. So the umpire's launch, we ask them to row, to take the launch straight down the middle of the course, so that gives us a really good indication. You can see Boadicea there, where the sort of bow wave is there. That's where the centre of the course is. And now we've got out away from that steering. Both crews can settle down, and let's see what they can do now they're into their rhythm. Hopefully the steering foot from both bowmen is off.
Well, I would have thought Tideway Scullers School and Molesey Boat Club will find it within themselves just to edge out. There are the blades, the GB blades. This is probably the under-23 crew designate. Big Shepherd oversees that programme. I don't think it's him coaching this crew though. But Dowie de Graaf in the Scullers top, and Calvin Tarzi, two guys from that St Paul's 8 back in 2018, both at Harvard, and both in that four that won the juniors in 2018 with an amazing time of 5:47 in the semi-final.
Yeah, and they had a coxswain in that particular occasion, and now they're having to manage their boat themselves. And of course, Gwyn is again asking that white flag above her head, telling Scullers to move over. And I genuinely don't think this is intentional. Whilst it's looking so much flatter than it was earlier on, there's still really tricky conditions. And look now, what we want is the bowman again to straighten up, because what he mustn't do is take his crew into the booms.
So the bowman of the British boat, so the guys that are prospective in the under-23 team. Harry Geffen, brother of Will, who I think won the boat race back in 2015, if memory serves. Get his steering right in line. They do look calm and relaxed. I think this is giving them a chance to show what they can do now, because this is a fantastic, wonderful four, isn't it?
Yeah, and they've managed to get themselves out of their steering problems, and you can see now their rhythm and that strength that is really coming in. The size of the puddles that they're sending down on either side, it looks really, really impressive, and it's leaving the Oxford B crew behind. Oxford B are doing what they can. They had that really fast start. They stayed with them. They managed their boat through those steering problems. and their rate is a little bit higher, but it is the GB Development Squad boat. 2 Yale athletes, 2 Harvard athletes who've come back together now that are doing well. But once again, Gwyn Batten is having to warn them for their steering. Look, so you can see what's happening. She's warning, they're moving, and then he's correcting, but he's correcting a little bit too much, and what that does is move the bow ball, the ball there, and actually now look, he's got it on top of it, he's moved it back again, it's going to the left, and that will take him back onto his station. Oxford B have been drawn into it though, they are moving away from their station as well, and as an umpire, you genuinely don't want this to happen because you want the crews to do their best rowing, you don't want them to have to be steering down the course.
So there is the talent of Joshua Bozeman-Jones, the 23-year-old under-23 world and European champion, a fantastic talent. They may have a B crew opposite their name on the programme, but this is a great crew from Oxford University.
It is, and I'm thinking we should be able to get the umpire's heart rate next year, because I'm wondering what Gwyn's is at the moment. She's got her eyes on there, you could hear her calling again. And I know for me, at these close races, you do get the adrenaline surge you would as an athlete, because you're having to be more involved than you'd like to be as an umpire. You want to stay calm, cool, the crews have got themselves where they want to be, but on these occasions, you still want to make sure that there's fair and safe racing.
Would you object if you were the Oxford crew at the finish of this race on the basis that Molesey and Tideway Scullers have been warned so many times?
Do you know what, I always kind of think as an athlete you want to win by making sure that you have a clean row, and so I probably wouldn't object, but they may choose to. They may think they've been interfered, that the technical umpiring hands work with by the other things, and what that means is puddles are coming down from the blades onto them. But when you actually look at it, I think if I was Gwyn, and again it's Gwyn's decision, not mine, you can see that the Oxford crew has been a long way away from their side as well. So what we would be really hoping to see is both crews separated, and what we've seen in this is both crews using the centre part of the river.
So there we see Harry Geffin on the rider picture with the blue cap on, Calvin Tarzi, the 22-year-old, Geffin just 19, Miles Beeson 21, Barry de Graaf 22. What talent is in this boat? Surely they're going to be in a British senior vest, if not at Paris 24, then after that for Los Angeles. They come through in this semi-final of the Visitors Challenge Cup. They will go on to face Washington in the final. Great race from the men of Oxford University B crew. They kept them honest the whole way down the course.